want to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you incredible supporters. This channel has evolved into an amazing community of story lovers, and I truly couldn't have reached this point without your continuous support. If you haven't subscribed yet, please join us on this journey and help us reach new heights. Now let's delve into the chilling tale. It all began when I made a decision I would soon regret, accepting that last delivery order. The clock was ticking, and exhaustion weighed heavily on me after a day filled with delivering food orders across the city. However, the allure of a $15 bonus pay flashing across my phone screen proved irresistible. Just one more delivery, I thought. As the restaurant loaded my car with bags of food, I input the address into my GPS and set off across town. The route led me away from the familiar main roads, guiding me into an eerie industrial area, a landscape dominated by old warehouses and empty factories, devoid of any signs of life. When the GPS announced my arrival, all I saw was a chain link fence surrounding an abandoned lot, overrun with weeds. I double-checked the address on my phone, then triple and quadruple checked it against the decaying buildings around me. The map's pin pointed to this spot, yet there were no houses, apartments, or businesses here. Only dilapidated warehouses enclosed by chain link fences, and weeds pushing through the cracked pavement. Puzzled and a bit annoyed, I pondered whether I had fallen victim to a prank with a fake delivery address. What was my next move with a car full of paid-for food? Just as I contemplated dumping the food and marking the order delivered, a vehicle pulled into the abandoned lot behind me. Glancing in my rearview mirror, I spotted an old Crown Victoria, the kind favored by the police, complete with spotlights attached to the A-pillars on either side. This one, however, was jet black, lacking any police markings. Strange. I questioned if it was some sort of unmarked car. The vehicle crept slowly behind my bumper on the fractured cement. And as I watched in the mirror, trying to discern its purpose, the driver suddenly revved the engine. Tires screeched on pavement as the Crown Vic jerked forward. I whipped around just in time to witness the Crown Vic hurtling straight from my rear bumper. My heart seized in my chest, and without thinking, I slammed the gear, continuing the suspenseful narrative. Response. My tires screeched as I shifted into drive and stomped the gas pedal. The car swerved sharply to the right, narrowly evading the menacing black Crown Victoria that zoomed past my driver's side door, missing me by mere inches before slamming its brakes with a piercing squeal. Tinted windows concealed the driver, adding to the mystery. Fear surged through my veins. Why had the driver attempted to ram my vehicle? Were they insane? Did they have intentions of carjacking me? Fueled by adrenaline, I floored the gas pedal, and my car fishtailed before rocketing forward, leaving the abandoned lot in my wake. Food delivery bags tumbled in the back seat as I sped down cracked access roads towards the main streets. My mind raced as fast as my car, struggling to make sense of the inexplicable attack. Who was in that ominous Crown Vic, and what was their motive? Checking the mirror again, the black Crown Vic was right on my tail, maintaining pace even as I whizzed through stop signs and weaved between lanes. This wasn't a figment of my imagination. I was officially being chased. Gripping the wheel tight, my focus narrowed to escaping the relentless pursuer. I blew through intersections, drove over medians, and hopped curbs onto sidewalks in my frenzied escape mission. After what felt like hours of being relentlessly tailed all over the city, I finally lost the mysterious car when I darted down an alley too narrow for its big frame to follow. Heart still racing, I parked behind a dumpster to catch my breath and figure out what had just happened. Peering down the alley, there was no sign of the black Crown Victoria. Shivering in silence for several minutes, I cautiously pulled back onto the street. As I merged into traffic, my eyes darted to every passing car, half expecting the mysterious pursuer to emerge again at any second. The familiar shapes of sedans and minivans eased my panic, but I remained anxious. Sticking to main roads all the way home, checking all my mirrors excessively, I finally reached my driveway, safely back in my own space. The terror of the chase spilled over, and I broke down right there in the driver's seat. In the light of day, the events of that night seemed almost unreal, like scenes from an action movie. I replayed it constantly in my mind. Who was in that car, and why did they chase me? Was it a random incident, or was I targeted for some unknown reason? My questions only led to more unsettling questions, with no resolution in sight. The police shrugged off my frazzled story when I tried to file a report the next day. In the absence of license plate numbers or identifying details, they had little to investigate. Apparently, attempted vehicular assaults weren't uncommon in the area. Their blasé explanations did little to make me feel safer, though I continued to drive for Doordash to pay my bills. I avoided taking orders too late or too far off main roads. Every innocuous sedan I passed sometimes morphed into that predatory black Crown Vic in my peripheral vision, triggering my fight or flight response. Bother checking on this eerie house, as much as I reminded myself that the menacing car from the previous chase was long gone. A lingering worry persisted that my mysterious pursuer might still be out there, waiting for the right moment to strike again. The fear of those blinding spotlights reappearing, closing in fast behind me, haunted my thoughts. One particularly unsettling memory stood out: the delivery to the old decrepit house on the edge of town. The order seemed routine enough. A simple drop-off with instructions to leave the food on the porch. Pulling up to the crumbling Victorian mansion sent shivers down my spine. The boarded-up windows and overgrown trees casting dark shadows created an eerie atmosphere. Despite my unease, the promise of a decent tip for minimal effort kept me going. Placing the food by the cracked front door, I snapped the obligatory delivery photo. However, as I turned to leave, something caught my eye. An inconspicuous slip of paper fluttering under the dirty welcome mat. Retrieving the handwritten note, I read shaky letters pleading for help from someone trapped inside against their will. The message ended abruptly, with the last words violently scratched out in dark ink. The realization that someone might be held captive inside that creepy house sent chills down my spine. Feeling a moral obligation to help, I pounded hard on the solid front door, shouting, "Hello! Is anyone in there? Are you okay?" No response, just the echo of my own voice. Panicked, I pulled out my phone to dial the police. But before I could make the call, an old pickup truck barreled down the long dirt driveway towards me. Startled, I dropped the note and sprinted to my car. In the following days, guilt and shame consumed me for running away, instead of trying to rescue the person who wrote that desperate plea for help. I questioned whether the police had investigated after my call. Doubts gnawed at me, compelling me to return to the decrepit mansion a week later. In the light of day, the house appeared even more bleak and lifeless. Cobwebs covered the weathered siding, and weeds choked what remained of the surrounding garden. Peering into the dirt-crusted windows for signs of life, my phone dinged with a new delivery request. My heart raced as I saw the address. It was the same house, the very same crumbling Victorian mansion. An icy finger of fear traced my spine. Why would anyone order food from this wreck of a place? Disturbing deliveries continued sporadically over the next few months. Each time, I hesitantly drove down the long dirt driveway, lined with gnarled trees, and parked before the shadowy facade. No one ever came to the door to retrieve the food bags I left by the sagging front porch. Each time, I discovered another frantic note wedged under the mat. The question echoed in my mind. Why does nobody bother checking on this eerie house? Pulled into the first open gas station I found. My hands trembled as I turned off the engine. The gas station attendant, a teenager with a bored expression, looked at me quizzically as I stepped out of the car, still shaken from the harrowing pursuit. I tried to explain the bizarre events that had just transpired, but my words came out in a disjointed rush. The attendant raised an eyebrow, clearly skeptical, but agreed to call the local authorities. While waiting for the police to arrive, I examined my car. The rear bumper bore the brunt of Cujo's relentless attacks, showing deep scratches and dents. When the police finally arrived, they listened to my account with a mixture of disbelief and concern. The mention of a massive Rottweiler attacking me seemed to perplex them. Nevertheless, they agreed to check out the location and urged me to stay vigilant. The gas station attendant, still skeptical, resumed his duties. As I sat there, the weight of the encounter sank in. Cujo, the monstrous dog, seemed to serve as a relentless guardian for the mysterious figure and the decrepit mansion. The green glow of the exit sign and the relief of escaping the relentless pursuit echoed in my mind. Days passed, but the mysterious delivery requests continued. Each time, the navigation led me to ominous locations. The memories of Cujo's pursuit haunting every turn. I contemplated quitting Doordash altogether, but financial pressures kept me tethered to the unpredictable deliveries. The police's investigation yielded little. The decrepit mansion appeared deserted, devoid of any signs of recent habitation. They assured me that they would keep an eye on the location, but the sense of unease persisted. Haunted by the events, I navigated the nightly deliveries with heightened caution. The once familiar streets now felt like a labyrinth of potential dangers. The shadowy figures, monstrous dogs, and eerie encounters became an inescapable part of my nocturnal routine. The mystery deepened as the requests led me to more obscure locations, each one seemingly shrouded in darkness and foreboding. The enigmatic figure's plea for help echoed in my thoughts, and the relentless pursuit of the unknown continued to cast a chilling pall over my nightly endeavors. In this surreal and inexplicable journey, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had stumbled into a realm where reality and nightmare converged, and each delivery held the potential for more disturbing revelations. Huddled inside my car, too terrified to step outside, a crazy thought occurred. Maybe Cujo was somehow still tracking me at this very moment. Just as that paranoid notion settled in, a loud tap on my window made me nearly jump out of my skin. It was the gas station attendant, knocking politely to ask if I needed help. Breathlessly, I spilled out the wild story of being pursued by a vicious dog for miles at high speed. Thankfully, the gas station had security footage to review. Without that evidence, I doubted the skeptical attendant would fully believe such an unbelievable tale. To this day, I continue with Doordash deliveries to pay rent, but never, and I mean never, after dark. Absolutely not to any houses with dogs, large or small. If forced to deliver to houses with canines, I instantly cancel those orders. The terror of encountering Cujo, or some incarnation of him waiting on a shadowy porch, is a risk not worth the meager tip for me. I'll take my chances with angry customers and bad ratings over tangling with those deadly jaws ever again. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed these stories and want to hear more, please subscribe, like, and support this new channel. We have more thrilling tales waiting for you.